The Construct Antigua and Barbuda initiative receives more incentives as a positive response is being experienced throughout the island. This is according to Investment Promotions Director at the Investment Authority, Fitzmaurice Christian, who says they've reviewed the process within the last 6 months. In addition, government has provided more incentives to make it even more affordable for homeowners. Christian says the government has withdrawn the issue of duty-free concessions on building materials since it has become an administration nightmare for hardware stores. He gives 2 other incentives that have been introduced.
What the government has decided that it is offering 2 other benefits to replace it, which I think puts the consumer in an even more advantageous position. First of all, in terms of ABST, the ABST on these products for Construct Antigua Barbuda will be waived at the hardware store. So when a person goes to the hardware store to purchase their building material, it will be ABST free. That is 15% of the selling price of the product. The second thing is the issue of the revenue recovery charge. The revenue recovery charge will also be waived on building materials at the hardware store, which means that our consumers can see even more significant savings than what existed before. Because what existed before in terms of duty, the average rate of duty was really about 10%. So what we are seeing here is that the consumer can actually save 20% and more depending on the purchase. So we think that this is rather an encouraging thing.
Christian says that the Investment Authority is encouraged by the positive response it has been getting from new home builders.
When we started this initiative in July last year, of course our objective was to make home ownership much more affordable, because we knew, of course, that in Antigua, home ownership is exceedingly expensive. What we have found thus far, the response from the public has really exceeded our expectations. Thus far, we have seen about $22 million in projects come to the Antigua and Barbuda Investment Authority. And one of the heartening things about it is the age group of the persons we see coming forward, the dominant age group. Thus far, in what we have seen, 90% of those who have applied are 35 years and below, which really tells us that the young people of Antigua are taking their future rather seriously. We are also encouraged by what we see in terms of men as well coming forward. Although we see 65% of the persons who have come forward being females, we think it's an encouraging sign that at least a third of that group, a third of the persons who have come forward are men. We think it's an encouraging sign. It's a sign of men taking responsibility for their families.